Market 18, and we're out here on the first fine day in about 4 days. It's been absolutely shitty weather.
On5.com.
If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
What brings me out today, apart from needing to get out and have a ride? Eagle and NZ challenged me to the game of 4's. Now the game of 4's is very, very simple. It's 4 questions. Each question requires 4 answers. And then at the end I have to tag 4 people. My 4 favourite foods. My 4 favourite foods would be venison, crayfish, which is like lobster, bacon, and whitebait. Now whitebait is a small translucent
What? English, motherfucker? Do you speak it?
translucent fish, about an inch long, and you basically make an omelette out of them is the way you eat them. My favourite drink would be tequila, bourbon, coffee and water, and depending on the time of the day of the week, or generally what kind of mood I'm in, will dictate what beverage I will partake in. But those would be my 4 favourite beverages. Now one of the questions Eagle asked was 4 places that you've lived. Mine are pretty boring because I've only ever lived outside of New Zealand once, and that was in Australia, so I've changed that question to the following. What are my 4 life rules? Now by life rules, what I mean by that is, what are the 4 rules or rules of thumb that I tend to go by in order to live a fairly decent life? The first one would be put up or shut up. It's all good and well and one thing to talk the talk, but it don't mean shit if you aren't willing to walk the walk and put your money where your mouth is. And I've got no time for people who don't stand behind the things I've got to say. If you're not willing to stand behind your own opinion, then basically, sorry, but shush. Another one would be respect other people's point of view. And as though that seems quite, I suppose, contradictory to what I've just said, I will respect you if you have an opinion. Doesn't matter if I agree with it or not. If you've got an opinion and you feel strongly about it, you've got my respect. Whether or not I say I agree with it is totally another thing, and that's for me to worry about. The third one is cherish friends and family. Good friends, I mean proper, real good friends, don't happen all the time. Fortunately I've got a handful of just really good mates that will be there through thick and thin with me and will always back me, and for that I'm very lucky. The fourth one is only worry about the things you have influence over. If you can't control or influence something, then what is the point in worrying about it? I'm a big one for that. I worry about shit that hasn't even happened, and if it does happen I probably won't have control over it anyway, so that's a real big one for me. Another one, the next question is, which I also changed, and my new question is, if I could have a few beers with 4 people I view as important and influential, who would they be? And these aren't in a particular order from most important to least important. These are just the way I've written them down. The first one is Einstein. Dude is a clever cat, and from all accounts I've read about him, he had a heap of personality. And that's the kind of dude I'd like to get on the piss with and have a few beers. The next one is the 14th Dalai Lama. Now that cat comes up with some crazy shit. William Wallace. Freedom!
That they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
The movie Braveheart was made about William Wallace. And that's a dude who had convictions, in as much that he had passionate beliefs, and he would stand up for them to the point where it cost him his life. So So William Wallace would be one dude I'd definitely like to have a few beers with, that's for sure. And the last one's my dad. As some of you know that have been following me for some time, my dad died 3 years ago, and it wasn't until basically later in life, when I became an adult, did we actually start seeing eye to eye and forging a positive, mutually beneficial relationship. We never used to get on when I was younger, which was unfortunate. So yeah, my dad. And who are the 4 people I'm going to tag? Well, that's a Shade Tree Surgeon, Stealth, Prairie Boy 77, and my brother from another mother across the ditch, my Aussie brother, Carmo Motovlogs. So boys, your questions will be in the description below. Everyone else, the links to those guys' channels are also in the description below. So please go and check them out, show them some love, show them the same support you've shown me. It is appreciated, and yeah, you guys stay safe out there.